What's up, YouTube fam? Smash that like button.
Subscribe, like, do all the things.
Hey everyone, welcome to our live stream. It's a couple minutes before the top of the hour. We just wanted to be here with you because a lot of people were waiting in the waiting room. What's up, Not Dubs, Bev Cavera, Teresa Dowell, Kuzai Ben Rashed, Photography, Nick Clark. What up, everyone? What up, Photo Friends fam? Let us know if you are watching live. We've got a little bit of a program today, just going through some of the photo contest photos, picking our winners. We picked our winners. We'll be announcing the winners and answering your questions. So get those questions brewing in your mind to ask us. But Will and Sam, hello. Hi.
What's up?
What up, what up?
Where are you guys? And everyone who's watching, let us know where you are tuning in live from. It's been a little minute.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute that we've been here publicly. Sam, where are you at? Where's that wonderful hair at?
I'm in sunny Oakland. It's a beautiful
O-Town?
full day, yeah. Bay Area.
Oh, look at that. Palm trees and everything.
I could be basically anywhere in LA, but yeah.
I think we're actually all in California. I am in Los Angeles, so
Yeah, we're all on Cali today. That's great.
yeah.
Just like old times.
Just like old times at our own houses and not with each other.
We've got Mauricio. What's up, Mauricio Velez? We are doing well. We've got Krzysztof from Poland, Hamster Helper from Pennsylvania, Rachel from Dallas. We got a couple Photography and Friend Plus members in the house. Gianluca, what's up? Ciao. TK Swan, what's up from Nashville? Holding down the fort while Will is traveling.
Out of town.
Not Dubs from Switzerland. Always got to give some love to the Swiss. Where in Switzerland are you? I want to go back.
Colombia.
Oh, nice. I heard Colombia had an interesting election.
Yeah.
Not going to talk politics, but
No, they just elected a new president, though, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Teresa Dowell in the house, Indiana. And Thomas George, what up? Thomas, where are you living right now? It's the top of the hour, though, so we'll get started with actual photo talk. Azerbaijan, what's up? Man, we got a full house today. This is exciting. So, Teresa Dowell plus family, what's up? All right, so today we're basically going to be talking about the photo contest, Portraits and People contest. We're going to switch it up a little bit. If you've been with us for a while, usually what we do is we just hit you with the winners, and that's it. But today what we want to do is actually go through, probably spend 10, 15 minutes just going through as many submissions as possible, just to feature you, highlight you, beautiful people for participating. Maybe give a little critiques here and there, some praise, and then we'll be showing the winners, our top 3 photos. And man, I'm doing this without my fancy presentation this whole time. Look at this. I got this all ready. Not even looking at it. And then we're going to be doing Q&A. Actually, we're going to just be doing Q&A throughout the entire thing. So if you have questions, just post them in the chat. But
Yeah.
Andrea Milan, what's up?
Oh, Pacifica, California. We're basically neighbors.
But
Chile.
yes, the winners. We're going to be announcing these winners, and they win money. So that's cool. And just post your questions and stuff. If you want anything from us, let us know. But let's get to some of our submissions. Where am I?
You're over there.
Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Boom. Okay, so we did this contest the past couple months or a month ago. And for new members of Photography and Friends, just know that we do these contests every other month right now. That's our schedule. And so we'll be announcing the next one at the start of July. But we're just going to pull up some photos. Will and Sam, you can see these, and we're just going to talk a little bit about them. This is a photo from Catherine Matlock. I love the little framing of it, of the girl in this shrubbery.
This is the type of photo too, like the timing of the click is so perfect. Like it's like she's looking right at it. Like what a good portrait moment, you know? I think that's incredibly important, right? For portraits and timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that location, I mean, the fact that they're surrounded by flowers that are taller than this little girl is such an awesome place to shoot.
And what I want people to do too is when you're seeing these photos, how about you give some thoughts too? Let us know if there's one that pops up. Maybe tag the photographer so that they know we are giving them some praise. Here's a cool one from Zimbabwe. Nice hat.
This is like I feel like this is like sort of the classic portrait, you know, straight on, subject looking straight at you, but how the background, like how it falls out of focus is so good. The kid is so clear and like crispy, like so much character. It's like a great just sort of like portrait of who this person is and all the attitude coming from him. Are we doing questions while we do all this?
Yeah, if there's a question, we can break and then.
I got a quick one for you.
Okay.
When are the live sessions in Photography and Friends Plus? I want to sign up, but want to make sure I can make them.
Oh, that's a good question. So we like switch it up every week. We do the live sessions weekly in Photography and Friends Plus. Usually we bounce between like now. I don't even want to say what hour. It's like we just bounce them around, right? Maybe like we have a couple members who are in Plus here in the chat. Maybe you can share what your experience is with the hours. We have members who are in Australia, India, Europe, the US, Canada. So there's people around the world. So we do try to accommodate different times so that you can make the live sessions. Of course, we have the replays as well for you, but we try to do it for where people can join live. But yeah, we switch it up.
Spread it out, basically, yeah. As much as we can based on who's there. And that's why it's so like premium, because we look and see who's watching and make it for them.
So yeah, that's if you have follow-up questions, let us know. Here's a cool photo, Mansi Agarwal Gupta.
So cute.
So good.
I like the angle, shooting down, getting the kid to look up is nice.
Yeah.
And the black and white really draws your attention to the kid. I think there's like some things on the outside maybe I would have cropped out or see if I may like clean it up, like straighten that little chair or bed, whatever they're on, like to the wall behind them, just to straighten out all the lines. But
the lighting's really nice. That sort of like half soft light, and then there's contrast, but it's not like extreme contrast necessarily.
I was just gonna say that, Sam. I love the like the key light is like so subtle. It's like maybe a quarter or half a stop lower than the fill or the shadow side, which looks so nice, especially in black and white.
And just to go back on that question was about Photography Friends Plus, but if you have photo questions, like camera questions, like that's what we're here for. We're not just here to talk about Photography and Friends Plus stuff.
I feel like we're on YouTube, so we have a lot of people that aren't in our Photo and Friends Facebook group, but are also not in our Plus group. They're just here to see us on YouTube, and we have classes. We have a group on Facebook. We have a premium group on Plus.
Yeah.
And we like to talk about photos.
I mean, the other thing too, I promise we're going to stop talking about Plus, but just for people who are interested, the live sessions are a great bonus or benefit of Plus. But I think what people will also say in that group and on that community is that we are there every day answering your questions in depth with tutorials and feedback and stuff like that. So it's much more than just the live sessions too. I love this photo. This is crazy.
And Rachel just followed up with that. And I just want to say, Rachel, like if you're working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we definitely do Mondays and Fridays. And we've talked about doing weekends as well. So that would you'd still be able to make some.
This photo looks like unreal to me. I'm like, is that background even a thing? Or this looks like Photoshop.
I thought the same thing. I thought this was like in a photo studio or something.
These flowers on the bottom have to be Photoshop.
I don't know.
Lori, are you there? This one on the
I
left
feel like
looks real, but these ones on the right look so unreal to me.
I think the only unrealistic thing looks to me is like the background's a little saturated and it looks like it's a Gaussian blur that was put in post. But I don't know. To me, the flowers seem like they might be real up front. I love how the portrait has her backlit. Right, the sun is hitting the back, and that's so good with portraits. Right, it's like if you're out in the harsh sun and you have nowhere to put, make sure their face is in shade, and put the sun at their back, and it's highlighting the flowers, and it's highlighting her hair, and it's highlighting the veil. The background does seem fake to me.
Well, I mean, if this were, let's say this is a real photo, this is probably shot
It's beautiful
over 100 millimeters. Like the compression of the background, how out of focus, but then how in focus those flowers and her, like that's a lot of depth to be in focus with the background being that out of focus, right? Maybe that's what's causing it to feel too separated from the two.
Yeah, and there's a comment too. The sky looks like it's coming from a wide angle lens because of the depth. And what Sam's saying too is like, right, when there's compression, it means there's a longer lens, so the background looks like it's closer, but the sky doesn't follow that. So it's still a beautiful photo composition. Like nailed the exposure and the expression on the girl.
I'm sure that little girl is really excited about this, like amazing,
fantastical world.
That's be amazing.
Here's one from
Mika. A little more drama. Yeah.
I wish there was maybe like a backlight, just a little bit of backlight to separate them from the background a little bit. And it's like that background, you see the background. Do I want it to be completely black?
I feel like having some texture in the background. I almost feel like because this is almost martial arts looking, if there was like hints of like, I don't know, that like wooden stick thing that you use, or like some textures in the background that were really subtle.
Well, and you see, it's actually looks like it's like in a wrestling cage, so it's got the bars and the.
Oh, I see. That's
so. I think maybe a black light or a backlight might even like help. Maybe you want to see that a little bit more in this, the background, the ceiling, have it fall off. But pretty cool, creative shot to go after.
I like the lighting though; it's very dramatic, very like, would be being
cool.
the lower angle, making the person feel really powerful. Like that's one way one feel like larger presence is getting a little lower, looking up at them.
So Alex14 says, I just got the course like a week ago, and I don't understand how the certificate works. Is it going to help me apply for a job? So everybody that finishes the course gets the certificate. And I've always thought, that's cool, but I don't know if it's really that beneficial in the real world. That being said, I've had students say, I've showed this certificate like to my video editing course or whatever to a job, and it's helped me get a job. So go download it. I know a lot of students who put it on their LinkedIn profile. And shout out to Terry. She's a Plus member, but so go ahead, use that certificate and see what happens. And if you get a job, let us know.
It does also, the amount of time you're going to spend in the photography masterclass, it's not a small amount of time. So it does sort of show that you really put in the hours to really learn this thing and like spent that. So I don't know. I've definitely heard stories of people sort of sharing that and being like, I completed this course. It was however many tens of hours it is at this point, and it being really useful.
Yeah. And at the very minimum, it's like it shows that, I don't know, on a resume or a potential job, like an investment that you've taken in yourself. And the education is definitely a plus to it, but like you've invested in your craft, and that's important, I think, at least for someone.
Totally.
There was a question about starting a new studio. And I'm assuming just like a home studio, but lights, etc., creative ideas. What are the things, like if you guys, or when you guys started your home studios, what are the key things you would make sure you have? Like 3 things, I guess. 3 things, let's say. It's
so funny because I mentioned that we did the product photography course, and we talk about a little bit of those things in the studio thing, but not starting your own studio necessarily, just like flashes and stuff. But in that class, like what a backdrop I would have, some paper roll,
a couple options for backdrops.
yeah, stands, and flash units. That would be the first thing that you need, and then the ability to block out the light that's coming into the studio is huge.
Yeah.
Right. Preparing the space itself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the idea behind the studio for me is like I want to be able to control the light completely. Otherwise, it's like it's just an office, you know.
And huge shout out to all the 59 people plus who are watching right now. And from today, we just started this YouTube channel specifically for photography and friends. It used to be on my personal channel, but now we've got 40 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button because this is where you'll get literally all the live streams, any specific photo content. So that's cool that you guys just did that on your own. And hit that like button too.
It helps with the algorithm. Honestly.
It helps with the algorithm. Using that YouTube lingo, Will. Good job.
Got to do it, because I have a channel too, which you can go over at. No.
Yeah. That's not allowed, Will. Terry Swan, this photo, incredible. I mean, you called it Portrait of Grief, and just the crop. Or the composition, I don't know if it's cropped this way, I thought was like really good. The fact that you cut off the mouth, it like makes it, you're so in her eyes, and getting that teardrop at that perfect moment. Really good.
With the space too, I love the leading room on the right side of the frame, right? I think it's like when you're framing people like that, having that's like giving the subject space to like see what they're contemplating or imagine it. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm just jumping around because we don't have enough time to get to everyone. Amy Bearden. I love this photo. This is cool. With the subtle reflection, emotions.
Again, right time, right click, right? Shutter was clicked at the right time to make it really good.
Yeah. I would say the only thing that bugs me is this little thing in the background right here. I wish it was like a clean this post or whatever that is.
Easy to get rid of if you spent time doing it.
That's true. All right. Another man. There were a lot of photo portraits of kids. Maybe that's because we got a lot of students who have kids, and that's like the easiest thing to be like practice with. But I love this photo too, and this is a good example of like instead of just taking the photo of the kid sitting there, let me like get behind some foreground elements that are going to create this interesting frame and make this photo a little bit more interesting.
Oh, the foreground's so good.
Using foreground elements in photography is like it can be so hard sometimes to be like not just focus on your subject, but actually step back and like find those interesting things to sort of use that are just blurry colors really, but like these ones even add to that mural in the background. Like the colors are almost like they both look like they're painted on with some sort of art, and yeah, that's really cool.
I've always been interested in like the foreground. Like, why does foreground look so interesting? I think because it feels like you're there, right? Because even like now, there are like you're watching this your computer, your screen. There are things that are in your peripheral that make you feel like you're there, and I think foreground elements make you feel like you're in that. You're like there, and I think that's so cool about having foreground elements. It's something to try. If you guys are out taking photos, definitely like just try and stick something in frame that's like in the foreground. So cool.
Do you agree with the decision to shoot it or crop it, cutting off the shoes or the feet?
I've heard a lot of people talk about that where they're like, I hate that you crop the feet, but I don't think it matters as long as you're achieving the feeling and the vibe.
Yeah.
I am feeling this photo and I see his happiness, so I don't care about not seeing the feet.
Yeah,
I don't know. That might be an objective personal thing, but I understand why you wouldn't want to. But I don't have a problem with it in this photo.
Yeah, and for me, I always like how I naturally compose things. I would never put that much headroom, or I would put like a significantly larger amount of headroom. But then like I look at this and I was going to say that I would do that, and then like, well, I don't mind that there's that much headroom actually. Like, would it be better if they tilted down and got more of the feet? Well, there'd be less mural behind it then. Take away from it. So like, Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I'd
It
be so
works.
curious if the photo was taken like this or if it was wider and they cropped in.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to know, like their decision on the crop, or if it was just like click. You know,
Yeah.
if everyone could just give full background stories on all their photos they post,
Yeah. Yeah.
we
that'd
could
be
have a
great.
full paragraph on every little thing.
The amount of times we sit here pondering all these questions and not knowing the answers.
Before we chat about this one, I'm going to post a poll really quick just to keep this a little bit engaging. I'm asking everyone, what type of photography do you prefer? I could only you can only do 4 choices in YouTube. So portrait, landscape, street, or wildlife. And for everyone watching, we're just going to keep going through these photos. I hope you're enjoying this. But if you have questions, let us know. Just chat them. And we're just going to go through more photos before we actually announce the winners.
JD's Pixel World says, I'm finding it tough to under my niche. I started with nature photography, now trying to do events, product, and food photography as well. I want to do commercially. Which is like a good question for your poll, right? Is like,
find my niche. Maybe?
Yeah, I'm finding it tough to shoot under my niche or whatever. Maybe. I mean that is. I mean, I think in general, like finding your niche is like difficult. I know I like doing all types of photography, but like the more you hone in on something, the more you're gonna like learn. The more you're gonna like, grow in that specific niche. So yeah, I don't know if there's a question in there, but good poll question to see what you like. Do you guys feel like you have a niche in photography at all?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, I think I don't know. I'm going to answer. I don't know what Sam feels like, but I look at your Instagram. I'm like, oh, Sam's like loves landscape photography. That's like what I feel like Sam likes. But that's just from looking at your Instagram. And so I don't know what you really feel like, or maybe I do, but someone from the outside might not. For me, I feel like I'm always bouncing around. And I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not like a professional photographer who's trying to do one thing. It's more just like I want to take great photos whenever I'm with my family, when I'm on a vacation, and it's like a creative outlet. So maybe it's street photography that week or whatever. So for me, I feel like it bounces around.
Yeah,
I think it's so cool. The three of us all have kind of different niche.
Yeah, I mean, I just love getting outside and doing landscape photography because I like being in nature. I like going on backpacking trips and camping trips and all that kind of stuff. But we were having this discussion with the photographer. They took these amazing portraits of like families and like engagements, all these things, and they were wanting to try something different. And it's just like just go do something different. They posted these photos of like walking around a park, and it was like so out of their element, but they're still great photos. And I think if you feel like you can do nature photography, it's because you're probably out there taking nature photography. And if you want to try and do other things, like if you're, obviously we're in unique times, but if there's like some sort of event just happening, like a public event, go take photos of it. Take food photos. Like just, you have to start doing it, and you're going to be bad at it at first, but you have to just keep trying and learning how to do those things if you want to do something different. Because like I love nature photography, I love landscape. I really want to do more portraiture, and I've been trying to, and it's frustrating because I'm like Will turns into this person at events where it's like all people are laughing. He has these little tricks of like how to do things, and it's just like, man, like I'm not that person. So I'm trying to find like my approach to it. I know the photography aspect, I know how to do all that, but like engaging with a person, getting them to like really, how can I capture the image I want to get with this person? And you have to, try and struggle and do that. But yeah, no, I if you look at my portfolio, it's mostly travel landscape stuff, but I would love to be better at, portraiture and all that stuff. It just, you gotta give the time and day to really to practice it. So, yeah.
Well, it looks like landscape photography right now is the most popular with 37%, and then portrait with 31%, which I think those two are like the common kind of styles. I don't know if there's like things I couldn't add in the poll, like food photography or macro. I don't know if people are like super passionate about those, but it's fun to see what people are interested in.
We've got a few more questions here.
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna end that poll too. So questions.
What's the first thing I need to keep in mind when moving from Canon to Fuji?
Oh, that was my. I guess I'm the perfect person to ask that. It depends on what Canon you're coming from. Obviously, Fuji, most people are going to be going for the crop sensor line, the X series. You could do the GFX series, which is medium format, but I'm assuming you're going for the X series. I mean, in terms of like, there's the obvious of like, oh, you're going to need new lenses and blah, 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 but that's for any swap. I would say that the benefit of the Fuji that we talk about is that very tactile feel of the camera with all the dials on the top for most of their cameras. The colors are different than Canon. I feel like Canon has like these very clean, somewhat contrasty colors that is a little bit different with Fuji. I would say that the autofocus is a little bit different, but not entirely worse. Maybe if you get into video, it's the Canon DSLRs might be a little bit quicker, but Fuji's kind of like catching up. I don't know. It's not like you're gonna feel like you're taking completely different photos. But for me, it was like a fun switch.
Yeah, why did you choose to switch though? You were Canon for so many years.
Yeah. Well, I think the main reason I switched was because I was looking for a mirrorless system to switch to, and Canon didn't have a mirrorless system. So I'm totally happy with my Fuji jump now, but if I was doing it today, I might just stick with Canon, honestly. Yeah. Just because I was happy with Canon and I liked their colors. I liked the autofocus. I don't know. I guess I would have had to get new lenses and stuff for the new Canon mirrorless cameras, but yeah.
I convinced you to switch to Fuji. It's my fault.
I mean, honestly, it's just like a fun to have and it's so silly, but like for me, like having those dials on the top for ISO, shutter speed, and then the aperture ring on the lenses, which I mean, all brands have that for some lenses. That was just like made it super fun to be able to quickly change things. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes just changing up inspires you. I mean, you guys know this. It's like we can all take great photos with any camera, but sometimes switching things up makes it inspiring to get out and try it.
And sometimes it does the opposite effect. But anyway, another question. I was shooting for a percussion festival a few days ago, which sounds awesome. I was struggling to get good exposure because the musician was playing so fast, causing me to increase my shutter speed to get a clear photo, but there wasn't much light, so I needed to increase my ISO to high values. What are your recommendations on gear or camera settings for this kind of use?
If you've increased your ISO far enough to where you can get a shutter and you're unhappy with the grain that's being caused by the ISO and you're shooting as fast as you can on your lens, sounds like it might be time to add some artificial light like a flash or a strobe for something like that. And so I think if you've got the time and space and like ability, having as big a lighting strobe as you can on a stand that's remote somewhere to help you like freeze those moments is probably going to be the best thing you can do. Otherwise, an on-camera flash that is not a built-in flash, an external flash that can illuminate enough that you can bring your ISO down and still have a fast enough shutter. I don't know what camera system you're using. For external strobes, I use Godex, and those have been really great and simple and compact, and the batteries are small. For your onboard external flash, I would say usually all the camera companies make really great speed lights. Godex also makes speed lights, but yeah, you're gonna need to add some light. I'm afraid.
So what if it's a public event and flashes aren't allowed?
all you can do is pump up your ISO as best you can. You can try and use a tripod.
Keep it open, right? If they have like a kit lens that's 3.5 to 5.6, maybe go to a f2.8 lens or f1.4 lens.
Get a faster lens if you can. That might make focusing a little bit more difficult, but in this is like the case like sports, cars, action. Like you need to have a fast shutter, and to get there, you have to like up your ISO or have, like Sam said, a faster lens.
Yeah, or going from like a crop sensor camera to a full frame sensor. Full frame does allow more light in than a crop sensor, so it'll perform better in that way. And then also, I mean, potentially you could bring a tripod and try leaning into the slow shutter speed. Like if it's percussion, like maybe get some like slow shutter speed stuff. But yeah. Anyways.
Questions. Thomas George asks, would we ever consider doing a Video Plus membership for video makers?
I'd love to. We don't have enough people.
I actually really want to lean more into the video making stuff. I think we should.
Well, and we've I think we asked in the poll when people join Plus if you're interested in video related content, because I think nowadays that it could be in one thing. Doing both, I think we don't have enough bandwidth right now, but maybe like one-off mentorship things where it's like a month-long or 2-month-long thing might be interesting. But
if we do it Plus, you can always ask me at least. I don't know. You can always ask us about video programs. Like I have just like one-on-one messaging going with a number of students, and like we just talk about anything that they're wondering about. So yeah.
Henry Johnson asks, they're into wildlife and landscape photography, but want to pivot to real estate photography to support my investing. Any suggestions? Well, you're going to need a wider lens. Maybe some flashes and some good diffusion for those flashes, or light boxes or continuous lighting. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're shooting a full frame, get like a 12 to 24 millimeter. If you're shooting crop sensor, get like a 10 millimeter to 10 to whatever millimeter. And yeah, lots of light, get some flashes.
Yeah, I would start
a drone probably.
A drone would probably help for the aerial shots of property, and to start to support your investing, like just, try and take some low rent or low fee jobs with real estate agents as you're starting out, because there are plenty of real estate agents that would be happy to pay you very little as you're starting out, and start using that money to build up your gear, build up contacts, start building that way.
I'm going to post I'm just asking a question because people are talking about their camera brands. Everyone watching right now, post your camera and your favorite lens, your camera brand, model, and favorite lens in the comments, just so everyone can see. Because Kelly Bem asked, anyone shooting with a Nikon Z50? So go ahead and post.
Around with the Z50. I think I don't know. The Nikon lineup is so impressive to me. I know Canon's like sort of destroying the market right now, but I think the Nikon mirrorless cameras are they're really cool and pretty incredible what they offer with such like the new mirrorless systems.
Thomas George asked why not Sony, out of interest. I would love to give Sony another try if I was ever switching brands. I switched right after I borrowed Sam's Sony, whatever that was, A7R3 or S3.
No, R3.
R3. I took that to Australia. And I got great photos, and maybe it wasn't enough time to play around with it and love it. It's honestly, like, to me, the way I think about it is like shooting with Sony is like shooting with a smartphone versus shooting with Fuji is like shooting with a typewriter. It's like you can, like, Sonys to me are so like computer digital-esque. It's like all like just
the way you shoot.
Yeah. It's not like I didn't mean like a smartphone. It's like shooting with like it's like Sony's are to laptops as Fujifilm is to typewriter.
It's digital to analog. Like it has a much more
and it's obviously not like Fujifilm isn't like a typewriter, and some people wouldn't want to play around with a typewriter, but it just for me made it more fun. And so I just could not get into using the Sony. But that being said, like 99% of YouTubers and photographers out there, it seems like, are shooting on Sony. So
Yeah.
you can get great stuff from it.
Dialing the settings, you really don't. It goes back to just shutter ISO and f-stop, like, which I love Fuji for how they did it, but like, I don't know. Yeah, it's wild what Sony's been able to build into their software and their like, that computer side of things.
Yeah.
Alexander asked for all three of us, when is the right time to create a portfolio website?
Right now.
I think when you want to, if you wanted to do a business, if you want to make money from your photography.
Yeah. If you want to be sharing your art in any sort of way, whether that's make money or express like and show your photography, because that's a lot of what shooting photos is about, then you should be doing that. And typically that means like right away.
I mean, I think we would still say that's beneficial compared to just using your Instagram as a portfolio to show potential clients, because Instagram, like, unless you're so curated to a specific type of photography, it's still great to send to a potential client. And I think people want to see that you have an Instagram, to know that you're a photographer. But to be able to curate and show like the right crop, the right aspect, the right quality of your photos, probably putting it on your own website's a good idea.
Having both is good. I've definitely used my Instagram to reach out to people, which is a great entry point. But to show myself as a professional photographer, I need that website, and I want something there. It has a bit finer feel to it that I think is important.
Let's pause on questions really quick. Let's just do 5 more minutes of photo critiques or looking at the portrait contest, and then we'll do the winners and then round everything out with some more Q&A. But I had opened up this photo from Tanya.
That one's good. This is another example of like, it's hard to shoot in harsh light like that. And this is like pretty successful.
Yeah, during the day, harsh light. Yeah. Another graffiti as background, giving some interesting vibes to the...
Good line too. I wonder, this is like probably a wide angle lens, right? It just looks a little...
Yeah, the foot is for sure like kind of abnormally large for this person, but that's because of the wide lens. So something maybe like shooting on a longer lens would have made them look more natural, I guess, the proportions. But
yeah, I think if they had panned a little to the right, sort of put his body more on the right side, and then the foot would be more in the center, like just a little off center, might have helped a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
All right, let's see. I'm just scrolling through. Emily, this is your grandmother, 98 years old. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. Cool side angle profile shot.
I think elderly folks with the lines and the contrast, it looks so good in black and white because it just adds that like contrast to the face. And it's very interesting that there's a white border around this one too. I think that like helps punch it out.
Yeah, that makes it for viewing on Facebook looks nice. Yeah, cool, nice. All right, Revy lens. This is your son, golden hour. I think it's maybe a little orange, too yellow. The shirt, I don't know if this is like a white shirt. There's just a lot of yellow going on, but maybe that's what you're going for.
It looks like pretty, I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's like golden hour or if it's like white balance to something else, but the sky is pretty blue and white, so that looks nice.
Yeah. Interesting. Just looks like a candid photo. Your son was playing around with
the candids. Man, there were so many photos, so many submissions. Nice one. All these, yeah.
This one also looks like it was shot like super harsh lighting. This looks like they brought down the highlights or the whites on the sides, which is kind of unfortunate because you lose some of that information in those flowers. because it was probably completely overexposed, some of these flowers. But the final result, I guess, is you get the face is exposed. It's a little dark.
Yeah, I think what would be interesting here if because there's like silhouettes of the leaves back there. I wonder if you had exposed to the highlights and just let the face get real dark, like add a little mystery there, but still catch some of you can see the sides of her face still have a little light.
Yeah.
If that would have, I think is like trying to go back to like just getting nice lighting on her face, but you're in harsh lighting. Like
Yeah.
lean into that, let it be more silhouette-y or
Yeah.
like get that exposure right on the flowers then. Yeah.
I wonder where that was. That's like so hard to take a photo like that during that harsh light. Yeah, this was a cool photo. This is one of my favorites when I was going through them. That lighting is just like kind of ridiculous, and like the fact that he's drinking a beer at that moment is like
in the middle of what looks like a set.
Yeah.
Like is he a DJ or is he on
yeah, I think so. I mean, if this was like, this looks like it was shot like in the moment in a club or something.
Yeah.
If this was like a product commercial or like a band DJ portfolio and you could have set this up without like this guy's shoulder here, or this person's shoulder, it would have been a little cleaner. But like for like an in the moment band shot, like pretty ridiculous.
It looked punk rock. It looks like he's got like a mohawk almost. Like.
All right, I'm gonna just go spin the wheel for one more, and there we are. Let's see what this one is. We didn't get a lot of just like street photography portraits in this, which I was thinking we might get more of. It was a lot more like portraiture,
like set up.
Yeah. But cool, cool shot. Lots of different textures and shapes going on.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to that woman or the person's back of head on the right side. I think I would have liked to probably crop that out or move it over. I guess it could be a really interesting photo with like the woman being in the book and then the guy in the background walking the other way because they both wearing blue. It's like the only blue, so it kind of connects them in a way.
Yeah, either like cropped or even if they went crouched down just a tiny bit, get a tiny bit more of her face.
Yeah.
But in that moment.
Well, I have a question for you, Phil.
Yeah.
How many SD cards do you have?
What? I don't know what the context. I don't think I have that many. I rotate between 4 128 gigabyte cards, and then I have a few like random 32 and 64.
128s.
Yep.
That's a lot.
That's a lot?
Yeah.
That's
not 2 128s.
Really? I have 2 cameras with 2 slots in each of them. So what am I supposed to do?
Fair.
I find myself like I'm bad at the XD2 and the XD4.
Oh, you have the XD, right.
So I find myself always like I don't organize. So I'll have like video school stuff on one. I'll have like family, like a birthday on it. Then I'll have like creative. It's just, I wish I was more organized, but
just great SD cards. I probably have like 12.
Okay,
maybe.
We're starting a poll. How many SD cards do you have? Yeah. What should the answers be? 1.
We have 4
2.
total.
We'll say 4.
Easily, I have 6 128 gig SD cards, and then I probably have like 4 64 gig cards, or maybe more than that. And then like I have like a couple of like older 16 gigs and stuff.
You know those like Pelican SD card cases?
Oh yeah, that thing's full for me.
It has 16 slots. I remember looking at that one day. I was like, who walks around with this many SD cards? And then I opened Will's, and it's completely full. And his cameras had SD cards in them. I was like, how the hell do you have this many?
It's just when I have like, okay, so last weekend was like I had a wedding, and then I had an event on the Monday, and then I had a family session that Monday evening. So I had 3 events within 3 days of each other, and I have dual SD cards in one camera, and then and one SD card in my Q2. So I'm shooting and if I haven't backed up, I get nervous, and so I,
SD cards, though, we are living in a semi-golden age of having so much space on these tiny cards. But I also know it's such a scam because these companies, I know they have the technology, which is ridiculous to think that they could put terabytes of information on this tiny card. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how they do it. But I know there's like a board meeting being like, well, we're going to release the 128 gigabyte card in 2021 and then the 132 in 2023. When I know they can just jump to the terabyte cards already for everyone.
Too. Thomas is right. The same thing. We just started shooting on the FX3, and we've got 260 gig SCF cards.
Yeah,
like 160. Like, where did that come from? Like,
the sad thing is that my 128 gig cards fill up like relatively fast when I'm shooting 4K or whatever, and it's just like,
well, video is a different game. Video, it's like, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But even our cameras that are shooting 46 megapixels, 128 gig card is like, for an event, is like gone. Like,
BLOFX has it right. 5 minutes now saves 10 minutes later.
I'm pinning that comment, man. I gotta tattoo that to my forehead because that's 1,000% true.
Yeah, it's so much stress, and I've gone back and been like, wait, where is this? Did I download this? I'm just going to download it again. And then I find it on some other hard drive a month later. I'm like, oh.
I know.
Why did I? Yeah.
Routine and organization.
And we're supposed to be the pros, bros. All right, let's get to the, we're going to get to our contest winners. Let's get this up on the screen. Okay. So our contest winners, we're going to go from bronze to gold. Thank you, everyone who submitted photos. Again, you guys are amazing. All right, let's just get straight to it. Our bronze prize winner, and surprisingly, I don't want to make you guys wait much longer, but surprisingly, we were generally on the same page for these top three. Usually we go through a few rounds of what are we going to do? How are we going to pick our top three? But we were generally on the same page. So let's get to it. Without delay, our bronze prize winner is Carol Wild Photography with this beautiful portrait, beautiful colors.
All the elements, right? I think it's got the color, it's got the pose, it's got the lighting contrast on her face, it's got a foreground, it's a frame within a frame. The style and the color of it is like clearly like an artist's choice. It's all around really done well.
Yeah, it's a very intentional photo, which I love. Like her hair color with those flowers, with the red dress, but then you have the green leaves and you have the green grass. Like, it's such just the whole thing works together. And I will say, with all these portraits, I want to say, like, both all of our top tens, like, there's so many incredible portraits.
Yeah.
Like, people really, when you get a photos from around the world of different types of portraits, it's so hard to be like how one is, better than the other. Like,
completely. Let's see. I'm trying to get us on the screen so we. There's Phil.
Oh, hey,
Phil's twice. Do you have two cameras up like that?
That's my webcam. Oh my God, what's happening? Okay, let me just get rid of this. How do
it's like we're in a multiverse right now.
But thank you, Carol. That was awesome. I'll reach out to you on Facebook Messenger to give you your prize. Everyone hit that like button for Carol. Our silver prize goes to Matlock with this portrait. This was one of all of our favorites. I mean, there's something about portraits of like people with a lot of life experience that just is captivating. And this one, it's like the combo of like the look in his eyes, but also this moment where he's taking this drag of a cigarette or something, and the smoke coming out of his mouth. Lighting's great. The texture, really good edit, bringing out the textures in his face. I really like this one.
I think one of my favorite things about this portrait that was striking to me was that, like, portraits are still life, and this is still, but like there's so much movement in him blowing smoke out. Like, you can almost like hear it, and you can feel that there is like life in it, like there's movement in it. His breath is literally coming out of his mouth, but it's a photo. And I think like if you can achieve that in a portrait, that's, you know, it's hard to do, like having that sort of like movement and emotion in a still photograph, like very cool.
Yeah. And this really shows, like, I love the difference of the last one with the color and this palette, and it like creates this like sort of energetic mood, and it's like, you know, it's like a painting. And then this one, the black and white, you take away those colors, and it's like this just direct connection to his eyes, and there's, you know, it's really focused on this person that it's just such a different style of portraiture that evokes a very different, you know, connection with the person you're taking the portrait with.
Texture too, Christina Melo, you know, expressed texture and character. I think you can. The texture here is fantastic.
Yeah. Good job, Matt. This is awesome. And drum roll for our gold prize goes to Nilendu Banerjee.
Woo!
With this portrait right here, which, I mean, it's hard. It's like, to me, there's nothing wrong with this. This is like, if this is what you're going for, this is like the perfect photo, honestly. Like this posed, the lighting, the background, the edit, just everything comes all together with this photo.
Yeah, you can just tell like there's been so much care and thought into every aspect of this photo.
Yeah. And it's so wild, like, you know, the differences of each of these photos. One was sort of like, looks like it could be in someone's front yard. The next one, maybe traveling, like took a portrait of this person. And then this one's like in a studio, using lighting, controlled system. And just like really, you know, this is where I think portraiture gets really amazing, is when you do like, you craft it all together and you really like, I don't know. Yeah. It's intentional, very intentional.
And Nilendu was posting, they've posted several photos in the group over the past month, and all of them are amazing. And if we had a small part of, you know, inspiring you or teaching you how to do photos like this, that's like incredible. But I love this photo. Congrats. Thank you to everyone who posted photos with us for this contest, and hopefully this inspires you to get out there, practice, and hit that like button for Nilendu. All right, so I'll reach out to you winners if you guys are doing watching this or whatever on Facebook Messenger to get you your prizes. But we got 10 minutes, so we will hang out and answer any questions. One other thing, just before we get to that, for new students, we've built out our own website right here, Photography and Friends. Oh, no, I can't get to it. photographyandfriends.com. And here we have like a ton of like blog posts. We have some podcast episodes. We've got some Lightroom presets, and there were some questions about different courses, like the product photography course. Where do you get that? All of those courses are linked here on the site, as well as the Photography and Friends Plus membership, if you're interested in that. So if you have questions about things, head over to that site, because we've got a lot of great resources there when we are not doing live streams, if you miss us and just want more of us.
You want to hang out with us all the time.
If anyone has questions, just pop it in the chat. It looked like the 3 to 7 SD cards won. Most people have 3 to 7.
But who of the three of us has more hard drives?
Oh my God. This was the COVID pandemic project. I handed all of my hard drives that I ever had, like old ones that had like, I don't even know what USB form it was. Like Firewire. Remember Firewire? Firewire 400, Firewire 800.
Oh, yeah.
I gave that all to my brother. And I was like, I'll pay you. Put this all on a hard drive. And he transferred all of it. And it took him a long time, because some of those old hard drives that we used to edit like videos off of just took so long. It would take like
What's he doing
days
this
to
summer?
transfer.
Free?
Say what?
Is he free this summer? I got some hard drives for
No,
him.
dude, this kid, my brother, he's like interning at Amazon, and he's a junior, or he's going to be a senior at Cal, and they're like paying him to do internship. I'm like, I didn't get paid to do an internship.
It's a new age.
He's too busy. I always ask him to help me out with stuff, and he's too busy. But thank you everyone for being here. If you have questions, post them in the comments right now.
A few minutes left.
Yeah, I'm getting to a really scary point. I have this like 40 terabyte backup system, and I looked the other day, and I'm getting close to filling it. I don't know what to do at that point. It's like, okay, I'll get another 40 terabytes.
We need to build like a photography and friends server somewhere that we can all just access someone's garage. That's like endless.
That's definitely like a possibility, and it's like the same idea as like organization. 5 minutes now, save 10 minutes. Like setting that up probably would be beneficial in the long run, but
Someone was talking about a local system, like a NAS system, which I think is probably the best bet, especially if you live in a house and can get some fast internet to access it.
Yeah.
I will say I'm really worried if I ever leave my current apartment, because being on fiber has like, it's such a game changer. And like the thought of whenever I go somewhere else that doesn't have fiber Wi-Fi, it's like, oh my gosh, the internet's so slow.
I'd like to use a NAS system, Daryl, but I travel so much that it's so hard for me to like do that. I just have a lot of big hard drives and a lot of small SSD drives that I work off of.
Yeah. If you have like your own home and stuff, I'd highly recommend it. Getting something where you can store significant amounts of information, but also like something that, Will and I do for our business, and granted it's painful, but we go through and we'll be like, okay, it's been 5 years, 10 years since this project. Can we delete this whole thing now? And we check if we have like a final export at least, but all the raw footage we get rid of, because at a certain point, or even with photography, if you're shooting even 24 megapixel, like us, shooting 47, it's like you get so much stuff on there that you just don't need after so long. But no.
Any other questions? If no one's gonna ask us more questions, I'm gonna pitch Photography Friends Plus just a little bit more for people who enjoyed this and want to do this every week with us. But it's not just this. Like, we switch up every week. Last week, Will did a full training session on wedding photography. We'll do full sessions on photo critiques where you submit photos. And we do deeper dive into your photography. A couple weeks ago, we had a hot seat session where 2 of our members were on the call, and it's all on Zoom. So we're all in the same quote unquote room. So it's a little bit better being all together, more interactive. And 2 of our photographers, showed us where they were. We talked about their websites, talked about their business plan, helped them kind of move forward with that. And so go to photographyandfriends.com/plus. It's pinned in the comments, and you can learn more, apply, and it's awesome. I mean, 30-day money back guarantee too if you want to try it out and it's not for you.
It's something I realized too, is like we always pitch it as like, we have all these live streams, but if you join now, you'll get access to all the old replays, right? Yeah,
so many benefits.
You can join now, and you can actually rewatch my little wedding workshop that I did last week and my live questions with students. So, even if you join now and you've missed everything that we've had for the last 2 months, it's all there that you can go watch, and it's just extra content and learning and all the things.
Yep.
But looks like we had some questions.
Andrea asked, was the portfolio question answered? What was that question?
I think so. Like when you should start a portfolio.
Oh yeah.
Rewind.
Razvan asks, how can I have a bit of live help? Is there any options? Well, right now, if you have questions, you can ask live. If you want to, if we're here for another few minutes, that's why we're here. So we'll help you. But if you need more one-on-one time, that's why Plus is a great option, especially right now when we have just like 20 or so members during our live sessions there, which don't get nearly as many people, and you're there with us. We're actually having a conversation. That's where you can, get that live
and you
help.
can direct DM us in that group too, and we respond within a couple days. And we talk a lot. Like Sam's saying, he talks to a lot of members.
Thanks, Christoph, for being here.
Wildlife on a budget. Are adaptable lenses okay? Like Tamron 400 millimeter 2.8. Sam has thoughts on that. Look at his face.
I think like Tamron and Sigma make wonderful lenses. There's no doubt there, and they will be cheaper than like the big names. But using an adapter, I wouldn't recommend. Like if you're trying to use like a Canon mount and use the adapter to your Sony, and it's a Tamron lens or any lens, the autofocus gets so slowed down the second you add that adapter in there. If you can get a native lens to your mount, even if it's Tamron or Sigma, they still make great lenses. The 150 to 600 is an awesome wildlife lens, and they have it for many different camera mounts. But I would be wary of using an adapter to it. Now, so yeah, I don't know if you mean adaptable lenses like Tamron, in that it's like Tamron's not a Canon to Canon type of thing, but yeah.
While we're answering these questions, I have Photography and Friends Plus open just so people can kind of see what it's like inside the community, where we have all of our different spaces where people can, ask questions, post photos for critiques. We've got
we did some good business questions this morning. I was talking
business, showcasing your gallery. This is where we've pulled photos in the past, and you'll probably see them on our Instagram account. And within the group too. It's a great way to showcase that. Here's like the live sessions, where this is this month's live sessions. So we've got one coming up on Friday this week and then next week. And you can see the time, like 9 a.m. This is my time, Pacific time, 7 p.m. So we try to switch it up. And then here's all the past replays that you have. So for example, you can go to Will's wedding photography training.
Oh yeah,
and check it out. Watch it all there.
Let's watch it right now.
Hot seat. Yeah, so all this stuff is there for you, and it's all private.
B-Loaf commented, I took a photography class in college. Tuition was $1,500. That's over 3 times more than the annual Plus membership, and only came with 1 instructor, not 3. So that's a good plug.
Boom.
Thanks.
And you get access to all of our courses. I mean, so we have, I don't know how many specific photography courses. It's 30 or so, 25, 30 photography courses, editing, product photography, food, portraits, everything. And then all of our other courses, video, digital marketing, starting a business, design, everything is included with that Plus membership. So it's awesome. If you're considering like wanting more of our courses and you're thinking, oh, well, I'll get it on Udemy or wherever, Plus is a good option.
To get all the courses. Andrew asked a question about doing prompt and posing lessons or creating cheat sheets for photography situations. I guess like posing for breakdowns and all that stuff. I did do a very quick posing section in that wedding thing that we're talking about in the Plus, and I'll probably do more for the Plus community and more on my YouTube channel at some point. Including the ones that are sort of in the class that are touched on briefly. But,
Andrea, have you seen in the, I think it's the portrait section in the master class, we have a download it's like a illustrated, it's like 100 poses, which should be helpful. But if you need help, we'll message you on Plus over there.
We've talked through on Plus the concept of doing like sort of walkthroughs of like our setups for different situations and all that. Yeah. But that would be more on the things. Also, just to go back really quick, adaptable lenses apparently are old lenses, like manual lenses. I didn't know that was a term. So using that for wildlife photography, if you're doing birding, I would say no, because manual focusing on birds would be really hard. If you're doing like going to the Sahara and like doing big animals where they're not moving really fast, maybe But manual focusing on moving animals would be difficult. Good practice, but probably better to get an autofocus lens. So.
Source Unknown asked if we would be adding some lessons on apps for photographers like Guru Shots into the class. I'm not sure if like that's necessarily something we would add to the class as like a lesson, but maybe like a resource with several apps that photographers use. It'd actually be helpful for us. Maybe I'll do a poll in the Facebook group to ask if there's apps that people use, because I know a lot of people do like the Guru Shots app. That's a fun way to do like challenges, but maybe there's other. I know there's one like I was just up in Big Sur and I was trying to figure out where the Milky Way was going to be and if it was going to be a good night and where the moon was going to be. And so I know there's apps for that I was checking out.
PhotoPill's an amazing app that I highly recommend.
So that would be good. Maybe we'll add that as a resource to our courses, or maybe on photographyandfriends.com add a post with apps.
So Felicia said she was asking if anyone's taking a film photography class. She's taking one in college now. We've talked about doing a film Udemy thing, but weren't sure like that many people would actually care to learn about.
I think we'd get 10 people.
Yeah. We've shot like the darkroom side. If you don't have access to a darkroom, it's
a cool. We love that. Will has asked if we should do that many times, but
I just want it so badly.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah, all my surf photography on my Instagram is all film. Like all my like underwater photography, I tend to do film with. So I don't know. Maybe we'll stick a lesson in there somewhere, some point, but not a full class at the moment.
Maybe you'll do it as a plus live session training.
There you go. Plus workshop.
Yeah.
Down.
So a good little final question, because I know we're a little over now, but someone reached out to Kelly Beam asking about selling some photography she had posted on Facebook group. How do you go about selling photography to someone when they reach out asking for that?
Ooh, is it just like to you? My question would be like, is it to use for like, do they have a website? They want to use your photo as like the backdrop? Do they want to print? Kelly, are you there? And did they provide more info? But I mean, you just have to probably come up with some kind of licensing terms like you are the photographer, you still have the rights. You don't want them to be reselling it unless you do.
It depends. It depends. Is it like a file that they want, or is it a print?
Yeah.
So like those are two very different things.
And Will, you've done prints and sold prints before. When you've done that, you don't have like a contract or anything that purchasers sign.
It's a hard thing.
Yeah, I guess it's like a print. Yeah.
Yeah, technically in California, you're supposed to have a seller's license when you're selling something physical, and you have to like tax things. So like, first of all, looking up that information is important. You can kind of do it under the table, but I wouldn't recommend that. I don't create a contract or anything that's a print because it's just a print and they own the physical print. Mm-hmm. It's a little different if it's like a JPEG or a digital file. Mm-hmm. California, again, it's different everywhere. Like whoever has the JPEG can make as many prints as they want. They just can't make money off them if they're not the original photographer. So it's helpful to have a contract if you're going to sell a JPEG to someone that just says, here's a JPEG, you can print, but you can't make money off it. You're protected by law anyway. In California, again, it's different all over the world. So it's smart to have a contract that says, I've sold this digital file to you. You may make prints, but you may not make money off it. Mm-hmm. That would be the best thing you could do for selling that. Print, different, right? It's just like a physical thing. And
I would say
print someone else's JPEG. Like all those prints behind Phil, I printed.
That's true.
And I would say if you're going to print like, there's various online sites. You can do it through Apple. There's different places you can print, but I would do a test print before you sell it to someone. Like print it, but then send it to yourself and make sure it looks good before just like purchasing it online and just shipping it directly to them. Because it might, how a JPEG translates to photo paper can vary.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's
all
cool,
right.
though.
Yeah, that's cool. We've had a couple people mention that. I'm curious, like, what the final result of that has been for the different people who have said people have reached out. And I'm not sure. Oh, it was on your photography page, so it wasn't in the Facebook group. But yeah, I'm curious how that all ends out. So give us an update, Kelly, next time. All right, that's it. Cool. It is June. We'll be announcing the July photo contest in July 1st. So that one will run through July. You'll have about 5 or 6 weeks into August to do that, and then we'll be picking winners in August. So stay tuned in the Facebook group for that. If you are not in the Facebook group that we're talking about, this is our general photography and friends group. 90,000 of our students are in that group. You have to be a student of our courses. If you're not a student right now, you're just watching this on YouTube, head to photographyandfriends.com, join one of our courses, and you get access to that group. Keep posting your photos, keep asking questions, keep being awesome.
Keep making photographs.
Keep making photos.
And go try taking a photo of something you don't normally take a photo of.
Yeah.
Just try something different.
And we'll try to switch up next live stream. We'll do one in July, in July, right? And yeah, we'll switch up the time. We got a note saying that they're in Australia, so it's a bit late for them. Yeah, we'll try to switch it up. So yeah, much love, everyone. See you guys. Yeah. Join Plus if you want to see us on Friday and hang out. All right, bye guys. See ya.
See ya.